Welcome back into another episode of South Bay Sports Radio. We're recording episode 83 today. And we're joined by Damian Calhoun of the Daily Breeze talking South Bay area high school sports. Mr. Calhoun, thank you very much for joining me.
Hey, no worries. It's the good break from the madness of a day.
There you go. In case you don't subscribe to the newspaper or have been living under a rock, Damian compiles a top 10 a few times during the season, highlighting the area's teams and standout players. Damian, how often do you compile this list?
For basketball, I want to do it every week, but there are some weeks where there's like no movement really. So the one before Christmas was, I think, the 15th. And then I let, the Christmas tournaments, post-Christmas tournaments, pre-Christmas tournaments play out, and then back into league this week. So I did another one this past Monday. And now with the season winding down here and, teams facing each other in the league, I'll try and get one out, every Monday from here on in.
Yeah, things are definitely picking up. We're going to start with the boys' side. So we're going to go through, we'll discuss the top 10, but we're just going to talk about the top 5. So at the top, you've got Redondo Union. They came in ranked number 3 in the latest CIF power rankings. They're currently 17-3, have won both of their Bay League meetings, having played in some of the tougher tournaments on the West Coast. They won the Platinum Division at the Tarkanian Classic in Las Vegas, placed second at the Classic in Damian. Their biggest test, from what I saw upcoming, is January 17th at against J. Sarah. But Damian, who's their best player?
I guess you got to start with senior S.J. Madison, who's already committed to Nevada. Oh, I think he's already signed with Nevada. Senior, I think he's been all area for maybe 2 of his first 3 years, probably. And point guard Chase Holly, solid. Tough kid. He had a 40-point night the other night against Santa Barbara. And they're just a tough group. Good seniors, good role players. Devin Wright, Caden Wilson, Chris Sanders as well. Just a solid group. They played all the tough teams. Well, I think their toughest league game remaining is Maricosta. They have them 2 times, once next week and once the end of the year. And remember, last year Maricosta was able to get one on them and to share the league title. So yeah, they're in a pretty good spot right now, number 3 in the CIF rankings. Can they move up? They're behind Sierra Canyon, who plays in the tough league, and Santa Margarita, who plays in the Trinity League. So we'll see what happens. I think that J. Sarah game might be a big one there. It comes after the Maricosta game, though, for Redondo. If they win that one, maybe Santa Margarita might lose to J. Sarah somewhere down the line. Does that make them move up as well? So, the computers are taking over the rankings right now. So right now they're 3. Let's see if they can move up any more.
And that Sierra Canyon squad is tough. Knowing from all the clips that we've seen online. Number 2, Inglewood jumped up to number 24 in that same CIF ranking. Sentinels put up 131 points against Centennial last night. That was Wednesday, improving to 16-5 overall, 3-0 in the Ocean League. Jason Crow Jr. went off again, this time for 53 on 19 of 30 shooting. The offensive scored over 106 times, over 96 times, over 85 times. Is there a defense on their schedule that can slow them down, and especially Jason Crow Jr.? Or do we wait and see what the playoffs hold for the Sentinels?
Yeah, you wait and see what the playoff holds. There's nobody in the league that'll slow them down. They have 2 showcase games left. One's out of state. I think another one's might be out of state as well. I'm not sure. No, they're both out of state. So, those really don't. I don't think those really factor into the rankings at all. Then it's to the playoffs. Like last year, they went to Division 1, and I think they drew Brentwood, or I forgot who they drew first round, and they lost. This year they're going to be Division 1 as well. If you can slow down Jason Crow, you deserve to win the game. He scored in every way. Out on the break, guys are looking for him out on the break. He's getting to the free throw line. That's what I'm probably more impressed with his shooting for the free throw line. You see a lot of kids, they struggle from the line, but he's focused at the line, averaging 44 points a game. He's just a scorer. I mean, when you can score like that, your team always has a chance to win the game.
Have you seen a player like him in your time writing, or even when you were growing up?
No, I mean, I covered Klay Thompson when he was at Santa Margarita, Stanley Johnson at Mater Dei, these NBA guys, and some other guys that have played some pro ball, whatever. But he's just different, man. He's just different. Maybe because he's more of a scorer. He has that mentality of scoring that you can't stop it. I know the other night against Pasadena, the one game I didn't go to, but I should have went. They won in overtime. They were throwing all kind of defenses at him. Still finished with 50 points. So yeah, he's fun to watch. I mean, it's if you're taking notes, it's tough because they're scoring like boom, 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 boom. So it's like, oh man, slow down. But yeah, I mean, he's fun to watch. He might end up with 4,400 career points. Probably he's at 4,260, I think, right now.
So he leads the Southern section, and he's still chasing.
He leads the state. He's the state all-time leading scorer. Yeah, he's the man. He first game of the year, he took over the Southern section record. And everybody's saying, oh, maybe later in December, maybe in January, he'll break the all-time record. He did that maybe like in, I don't know, early December. I think he blew by the all-time record. Yeah, he's just fun to watch, man. He's been scoring like this since a freshman at Linwood. So yeah, if you get a chance to see him, make sure you get there early, get a seat. Just watch him. Also a good kid too. He's a kid that I know it's going on a long time, but there's so much media focus on him. He just he sits down, answers your questions, takes his time, and then he might go back out in the gym and start shooting again. It's like, yeah, he just loves basketball.
All right. Well, mark me down if the opportunity ever arises. Moving on. Rolling Hills Prep. Huskies sit at 14-5 overall, 4-0 in the Coastal League. Their 5 losses have been to opponents like Los Alamitos, J. Sarah, Loyola, Folsom, and Harvard Westlake. That Folsom loss was in the Gold Division Finals at the Damian Classic. Some big tests upcoming for the Huskies are Narbonne, January 9th, Centennial Corona, January 17th, and Bishop Gorman, January 23rd. When you look at who they've already played and who's still coming, is this one of the teams that's actually better than its record suggests? Or is this one of those Harvey Katani-led teams that has a really good player in Nick Welch Jr.?
A little bit of both. I mean, Harvey always he does a good job of, seeking out some tough competition. They played Harvard Westlake the other night. They lost by 4 points. I talked to him yesterday about that game. He's like, Harvard Westlake had the ball late up to, I think it was an errant shot or whatever. Ball hit the rim. They got the rebound and was able to kill the game out. They struggled against some of those tough opponents, but they're still a tough team with Nick Welch and Kavika Suter, who recently committed to Division III school. I got to get the name. Yeah, they're tough. I don't think they're as deep as they've been in the past, but with those two big pieces down low, Suter and Welch, they're gonna have a chance. Against anybody. Also, guard Jashawn Webster, who became eligible after Christmas, another key piece there. So they're Division I as well. Another team I wouldn't want to face a Harvey Katani team in the playoffs. And he's also getting close to a milestone, 1,000 wins. He won last night, so he's at 994.
6 games off.
Probably gets that. I was hoping he would get it the 17th at a showcase, but it might be a game or two after that. So we'll see about that.
And that showcase is at North Torrance, correct?
At North Torrance, January 17th.
There we go. All right. Bishop Montgomery, number 4, comes in at 16-2, 1-0 in the Camino Real League, looking to make a return to the playoffs after a 2-year absence. Some tough tests upcoming. Bishop Amat here January 16th. All right. How important is that a Mott game in terms of playoff seeding and confidence for these Knights, especially for a group trying to reestablish itself after missing the postseason those last 2 years under perennially tough Doug Mitchell?
Yeah, I mean, it's good to see the Knights back, competing for a league title, and they dropped down to the Camino Real League after dominating the Del Rey League for so many years. So that was a little different, seeing them in a different league. But they went down with Sarah, so that might be the game to look at down the stretch here, because Sarah's also 2-0 in the Camino Real League. Yeah, I mean, Bishop, typical Bishop. I mean, they're gonna guard you. Doug's gonna scream at you. You can always hear Doug scream at you. But yeah, they're playing great. They had the biggest win against San Gabriel Academy. They beat them at Redondo's showcase. I want to say like on a Tuesday, and then San Gabriel Academy came back 2 days later and beat Redondo. So it was like, that's one of those things, like, how good is Bishop team is and how good is San Gabriel. So that was a little interesting there. They won the Pasadena tournament before Christmas. So now they're in the final stretch here in league as well. I forgot what number they were at for CIF, but they might be a little lower than Division I. I think maybe 2 or 3. So yeah, I mean, look out for the Knights. I mean, it's not your typical Knights team. You got that you're used to seeing the last 4 or 5 years. This is a young group that guards you tough, and they're 16 and 2.
16-2. Yep. All right. Rounding out the top 5, we've got the Maricosta Mustangs, 17-2 and 2-0 in league play, but they've got that January 16th showdown with Redondo looming. What stood out to you so far about Maricosta's growth, and what do they need in order to slow down that Redondo team in order to defend that league championship, that co-league championship from last year?
Yeah, it's a different group than last year. I think Neil said 9 of his top 10 contributors last year graduated. So that opened up bigger roles for guys like Pax Bell, who's been doing pretty much everything this year. Can they beat Redondo this year? I would say no, but you can't overlook the Mustangs. They have that game. Then they also have St. Bernard on the 23rd or 24th. And they're 24th. I think they're like one ranking away there in this week's CIF rankings. So that's another game that could sway, which way one of those teams goes as well. But yeah, Maricosta, never an easy night. Confident group. They're not going to back down from Redondo for that game. So that's going to be a good matchup.
All right, and the remaining 5 teams, you've got Bernards at 6. North Torrance at 7, Wiseburn Da Vinci at 8, San Pedro at 9, and Torrance at 10. Of those remaining 5 teams, which one of those has been the biggest shock to you as far as how well they've played, or have all these teams kind of slid into a spot where you expected them to be?
St. Bernard's a little bit up and down because they had so many guys who were ineligible to start the season. And they brought, once the transfer sit-out period ended, they had like maybe 4 guys who were eligible. So their look is changing almost every night, really. Weisburn's had a pretty tough schedule. They played their tournament, and then they played in one of the divisions at the Classic at Damian. They went to I think these are the finals, I think, in one of the lower divisions, which is good for them. San Pedro might be the city team in our area that might make the open division for the city if they win the Marine League, which is always a tough league. They might be the team that makes the city open playoffs. They got to win against Torrance. That's why they're above Torrance this year. I mean, this week. And then Pioneer League. I mean, North and Torrance are gonna have to face each other. And I think next week. I know North plays West on Friday, which is always tough. So I'm interested to see how the North and Torrance games go. I think Torrance is pretty good group. Some guys from the football teams also playing basketball as well. So other than that, I think that's the 10 of the South Bay, the top 10 and it has some teams that are just hovering around below that might make a move at some point this season.
That North against Torrance game is at North January 16th. I made sure to mark that one down in my calendar. All right, we're going to move on to the girls' side. Leading the way, just like the boys, it's Redondo Union, ranked number 17 in that CIF Southern Section power ranking. Seahawks are currently 9-5 after a Bay League win over West Torrance on Tuesday. Redondo has a matchup with Oak Park looming Saturday before visiting North Torrance January 13th. How big is that Oak Park game in preparing Redondo for what could be an early league title preview against North next week?
Yeah, Redondo's, I mean, they play pretty much all the tough teams around. That's the best thing about girls basketball. They always look for the tough opponents on the weekends. So let's see what happens. Yeah, I mean, let's see how this one goes. They lost their last 3 before they played West, and they beat West. Now they got their no league game Friday, so they got a showcase game on Saturday, and then the big one against North on I think the 16th. That's what I want to see, because I think Redondo's maybe top 20, I believe, in CIF. I forgot where North fell this week.
North was at 19.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, let's see how. I mean, Redondo's. I haven't seen them play live, but people say, I mean, they're loaded. They're deep. Abby Zimmerman, volleyball star, is playing. Still playing basketball, and had some transfers come in that are finally eligible, and I just heard they're loaded. So we'll see how that game on the 16th goes. Should be a good one.
Yeah, they got off to a slow start in that game against West, and then they started hitting threes in the second quarter, and then third quarter they came out, and West's athletic director said, just watch. And Redondo just completely ran away with the game in the third. And then, West made a little bit of a run in the fourth, but definitely wasn't anything, it definitely showed that Redondo's got the muscle in the South Bay.
Yeah.
But number 2 on your list is North Torrance. The Saxons are 14-1 overall, coming off a league opening victory over Maricosta on Tuesday. Saxons visit West tomorrow, Friday night, but that January 13th showdown with Redondo is an early indicator, like we said, for the league title. What separates North from the rest of the Bay League right now, and who's emerged as their go-to?
What's separate? I mean, the Bay League a little light this year because there's no peninsula this year. So there's only 4 teams playing varsity this year. I mean, they're always tough. Lauren does a great job always with her groups. You got Lila Fitzgerald, who's always one of the top scorers. Cameron Shimazaki, I believe it is. They're tough. It's gonna be a good matchup, North and Redondo. North has to get by Torrance. Get by West. It's not going to be easy. I covered that game last year. I think it was there last year, and West won the game. I think it might have went overtime. So that's going to be a tough one tomorrow, and then they can focus their attention on Redondo. We'll see. I haven't seen North play live yet, but if it's anything like her other teams, they're going to be tough. From start to finish.
That definitely might be a game for me to just pop in on. All right, number 3, Rolling Hills Prep sits at 11-5 overall and 3-0 in the Coastal League, but it's a bevy of matchups to end the year that will see how well the Huskies fare in the postseason. January 10th, Orange Lutheran. January 21st, at Palos Verdes. January 28th against Lusinger, and the regular season finale against Redondo Union, January 31st. With that closing stretch, which game do you think tells us the most about how far the Huskies can get into the playoffs?
Wow, man, that's a tough sketch. That's a tough stretch there. I guess, you go against the best. If Redondo's top, top 15, top 20 in Division
17.
1? Yeah, so maybe that's the one there. But anytime you play against a Trinity League team, Orange Lutheran, that's going to be a tough matchup. And in Palos Verdes as well, they're having a great year. Off to a good start down there in the Pioneer League too. We'll see how Rolling Hills Prep do. They just like on the boys' side, they're going to win their league, but they're always looking for these tough tests to get them prepared for the CIF playoffs. And then they won CIF last year, so let's see how this group can handle things going forward there.
Those have been 2 of the most successful programs over the last 10 years, Rolling Hills Preps, boys and girls basketball programs. Number 4, Bishop Montgomery. The Knights are currently 6-11 after Tuesday's loss to St. Joseph's of Lakewood. Things don't get much easier. Next up is 14-win St. Anthony's and then 17-win LaSalle. The next local matchup, Bishop plays at Redondo January 24th. What's the biggest question for a team like this, being 6-11? I know, having looked at their schedule, they do schedule really tough opponents. I know Coach Ale wants this team to be in the open division, wants to give these girls a test, but what's been the biggest question mark for this team over the course of the season?
Just availability. Sophia Dignadice was out. She was away with the Philippine national team for a long time. They had one girl, I forgot her name. I don't want to mess up her name. She just became eligible recently after Christmas, and then they lost another player to an injury. Just having kids around. I don't think they probably won't make the Open this year. I mean, probably safe to say they won't be in the Open this year, but you see them. I wouldn't want to see them Division I, Division II, because Raina's gonna have those girls ready to go once the playoffs come around. They got a tough league now. They got St. Anthony who beat North a couple weeks ago. So yeah, I mean the league is tough, but yeah, I wouldn't overlook Bishop at all.
All right, and number 5, Westchester. The Comets are 13-3 after a double-digit victory over Lusinger last week. 12-win Hamilton is the toughest test on Westchester's schedule as of now. The two teams play twice to close out the season. How much do those Hamilton games shape Westchester's playoff resume? And do we know who their most consistent scorer has been?
I think Savannah Miles. I think she's a senior. I believe it's Savannah Miles. If I'm not mistaken, Westchester and Hamilton met in the finals last year. If I'm not mistaken. So, Western League rivals, they're always going to get at each other. The same thing, like I said, San Pedro boys might be the areas, pick for the Open Division City section. Westchester girls have to be, one of the top city teams with a chance to get back to the Open Division title.
Rounding out the top 10 in the girls, we've got Maricosta at 6, West Torrance at 7, Sarah at 8, Palos Verdes at 9, and Torrance at 10. Of those 5 teams, has there been a surprise, or have all of these teams kind of stuck to what you knew about them heading into the season?
I wouldn't say it's a surprise. Sarah's still young. They made the CF finals last year in Division maybe 4 or something last year.
4, yeah, 3 or 4.
Yeah, so I mean they came back with a young group. I know Deja Smith, who transferred from St. Mary's, is finally eligible to play basketball. So they're 8. They got a good chance of moving up there. I like West. I mean, they're in a tough league, but they can shoot. The freshman, Nyack, I believe.
Kayla Nyack.
Yeah, she can shoot, but I saw them against Maricosta, and dude, they got just like your game. They had a good start, and then Costa just got hot from the 3-point line, and that was pretty much it. Costa, West, good Bay League, tough. They get tested in the Bay League every night, and then Palos Verdes in the Pioneer League as well. I mean, they already beat South last week. I think Wednesday. So, they got to face Torrance here coming up next week, I believe. So let's see how they get through league. But just a good area of basketball, boys and girls. So some good teams, good players, good coaches, good action here the rest of the way.
Aside from Jason Crow Jr. and Nick Welch, are there any players that you feel are a must-watch in the area? And SJ Madison.
Man, must watch. I like watching Pax Bell at Costa. They use them a lot of different ways. Out on the floor a little bit, run the ball through them on the post sometimes. It's good action up and down the court. Does everything. I like watching them play. I mean, Chase Holly, the point guard at Redondo, he's fearless, man. He's one of those kids where you're thinking, man, he has to have a bunch of colleges. You know, he has to be committed somewhere. And you look, oh, he's not committed anywhere. But man, he can get the ball, get to the basket, run the offense perfectly. So we'll see if the recruitment pick up at some point for him.
All right, Damian, give me your top 3 basketball movies.
Top 3 basketball movies, man. Have there been 3 basketball movies?
There's been like 8.
I'm old, so The Fish That Saved Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of it?
I have not heard of it.
Oh my goodness.
Why was I thinking of The Incredible Mr. Limpet with Don Knotts?
The Fish That Saved Pittsburgh. It had a
one.
bunch of NBA basketball players in it. It's a weird movie. You look it up. It's just weird and crazy. It's an old movie too. Other than that, wow. I mean, what are some other choices? Maybe
Space Jam, Glory Road, Coach Carter, Hoosiers.
Okay.
White Men Can't Jump.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one. Of course, right?
What's the other one? What's the one that I'm thinking of that I can see it?
I mean,
Blue Chips.
Okay, Blue Chips. I saw the other day. It was on.
Adam
Space
Sandler
Jam.
just did one.
Which one?
Adam Sandler just did one. I forget what it was called.
Okay.
It was on Netflix.
The original Space Jam, not the remake, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't even touch the remake. Couldn't do it.
I saw the remake. It was like, well, what are we doing here? Yeah, we need some more basketball movies out there.
There we go. All right. That will wrap. Damian, is there anything else that you want to discuss? I know we talked about the Rolling Hills Prep North showcase on January 17th, and then there was another showcase that you talked about.
Yeah, there's another one. There's the one, Maricosta's hosting one on the same day, Maricosta Classic, girls basketball. I'm trying to get the schedule here real soon, and then I just lost the schedule. But, here it is right here. Game start at 9:30. You got South Bay teams, El Segundo, West, South. Maricosta's playing Palisades. Final game, Sage Hill, who's one of the top teams around. And Jay Sarah, who's also one of the top girls teams around, too. So that's a girls basketball Maricosta Classic, starting at 9:30 on January 17th. And I think the North Torrance State preview, Rolling Hills Prep, North Torrance State preview. Mostly boys game. There is a North Torrance girls game on that schedule, but that also starts at 9 o'clock, I think. Then the evening schedule, there's Redondo in one game. I think Bishop plays in one. And I think Inglewood has one as well. So there's like 3 in a row, back to back. If you give me time here, kill some time here, I can pull that schedule up real quickly.
Yeah, I can edit this. I can edit this out. I can edit the pause. You've got time. There's nobody waiting on us.
Where is it? I had it up Sunday. And of course I can't find it. But but I'll get it posted up on the site here early next week. Yeah, I can't find it, but yeah, I'll get it posted up. It's some good games. Harvey does a great job bringing in some good competition. And after that, it'll be like 2 weeks left in the regular season. So basketball season goes by too fast. All
right, and if you're just joining us, we've got episodes. I've got Harvey Katani join me. New Angels manager Kurt Suzuki joined me. Ed Azam. And then I sat down with Chris Brown, local quarterback coach, talking all things football. So make sure to check out those. Damian, thank you very much for your time. That will wrap episode 83. Until next week, have a great day.